Hi, this is Jessica, and I'm here doing my session recording. So, for the first segment of joining, I would usually use people's names, but there weren't any given in the example, so I'm just going to refer to everyone as mother, father, daughter, son. So, here we go. Um, Hello, mother and father. Mother, I understand you reached out to me because daughter's therapist thought family therapy would be beneficial in her recovery, as well as the entire family's well being. Daughter, it seems like you've been through a lot of treatment already, so I thank you for continuing to focus on your health and coming in today. And brother, I know these things take a toll on the whole family, and I hope this space proves to be one where you feel heard. I always like to start off by telling families what the goal of structural family therapy is. Most families come in here hoping that I'm going to fix their problems, but that's not really the case. Every family is structured in a particular way. Think of your family's structure as building blocks. Some blocks are strong and some blocks are weak. And together we will identify those strong and weak blocks. And we will make changes by shifting certain blocks and replacing weak blocks with stronger ones to strengthen your structure. So the goal is really structural change. And once we make that change, you'll be able to solve your problems when they arise, because there's always going to be problems in the future. And therapy will empower and teach you how to solve your own problems so that one day you won't need me. And in my experience, family members often feel misunderstood. You're a family and you have shared experiences, but you're also individuals with unique perspectives, interests, personalities, and goals. And I'm really interested in hearing from each of you. I'll start with Mother's view of the problem or problems, since she initiated coming here, and then I'll ask Father and Sister and Brother. You'll each have a chance to talk about what's been going on, why you think it's happening, when it started, and how it's impacting you. And I'm really interested in concrete examples, much more than vague descriptions and adjectives like she's annoying or he's selfish. I'd rather hear examples of what is annoying and how someone behaves selfishly, if that makes sense. And if at any point you want to break or you don't want to speak, that's totally fine. You have a right to say or not to say whatever you want here. But please remember that you each play a vital role in your family's health and structure, and you're each needed to strengthen it. So that's the end of the first segment. For the second segment now. After the mother and father bickers, I would probably encourage the enactment. And then after the enactment, I would unbalance the subsystems by giving credence to the children's assertion that their parents bicker a lot. And I would shape competence and connect some of their current behavior patterns to their family history by saying the following. Well, son and daughter are certainly correct in that your arguing is stressful and anxiety evoking. Even though these communication breakdowns don't get you anywhere, I do see two parents who value the life they've built and are doing the best they can to support their kids and keep their marriage intact. Mother, you work really hard to provide for your family and create a nice home. And father, you're doing everything you can given your disability and limitations around that. And even though your go-to move is to avoid mother, you're here today, not avoiding her. You're facing these issues head on. Mother, your family has a history of depression and suicidal ideation. That's really heavy stuff. I'm sure the realization that your daughter is also battling these issues creates a lot of anxiety in you. Often, when one person in a family is anxious or experiencing heightened emotions, it seeps into the rest of the family. And every family member reacts differently. In husband's case, he's trying to get as far away from you as possible. He's isolating himself. And father, that seems like a long-standing pattern of yours. You're cut off from your brother, and before your parents died, you were cut off from them. When mother exhibits heightened emotions, you cut her off. What I'd like to do now is have brother and sister move their chairs off to the side because mother often complains to them about her issues with husband, and that's adding fuel to the fire. They don't need to be involved in this. So now that the chairs have been moved, I'd like the two of you to try this conversation again, but I'm going to walk you through it and offer some alternative perspectives and responses to one another. So here is the third and final segment now. So now that you've all learned more about this process and know what to expect, I'd like to hear from each of you about what changes you'd like to see. I'm going to ask you all to focus on positive changes instead of negative ones. For example, don't say, I want mother to stop nagging me. Instead say, I would like mother to give me more personal space. These changes are the weak bricks, right? So what I'm also interested in hearing about are the strong bricks. What are your family strengths? What is working? What don't you want to change? Also, how could these strengths support this process? Lastly, I'd like to discuss your expectations, what you are hoping to get out of this, big picture and little picture. So for example, big picture. By the end of therapy, I hope we achieve X, Y, and Z, and I hope I achieve X, Y, and Z. And then for little picture, for example, I know therapy is at least sort of working if X, Y, and Z starts changing or happening. And I really commend you all for making it through this first session. It's a cliche, but it's true that the first step is the hardest and you did it. So what I'd like for us is to all build a contract moving forward. I'm wondering how many sessions you'd like to schedule or if you want to keep it open-ended. Let's figure out how often you all want to come in. And in between this session and the next session, I'd like to give you a little homework. I'm going to ask you all to pay attention to how you react to each other. I'd like you to keep a journal and write down any instances of something someone in your family does that provokes a reaction in you, positive or negative. For example, if mother complains to daughter and that makes daughter feel anxious or upset, then I want daughter to write down, mother complained to me about father. It made me feel anxious, and so I did this or I said this in response. We are going to start looking at how your reactions to one another impact your family's issues. And that is the end of my role play. Thank you very much.